Let us solve a problem using mesh analysis. So a circuit is given here and we have been asked to calculate the current through each branch using mesh analysis. So we have to calculate the current through each element of this circuit using mesh analysis. Okay. So for using mesh analysis, we have to check whether the circuit is planar or not. So here it is planar. No branches are crossing. So we have a planar network, and as a second step we have to mark currents to all the meshes. So here we have to consider two meshes. So this is mesh 1 and this is mesh 2. Okay. Now mark the mesh currents. So I am going to mark the currents in clockwise direction. So this is current I1 and this is current I2. Okay. So I have marked the currents. Now consider each of the mesh individually and trace the mesh in a particular direction. So first of all, let us consider mesh 1 or loop 1. So I am going to consider loop 1 and apply KVL to that loop. Applying KVL. So let us apply. So KVL apply cheyan endu cheyanam? First of all, trace the circuit in a particular direction. So I am going to trace the circuit in clockwise direction itself. That is in the same direction as that of the current flow. So let us start from this point. I am going to move in clockwise direction. So I am moving like this. That is from negative terminal to positive terminal of the battery. So there is a rise in potential. So the battery voltage should be taken as positive. So battery voltage is 10. So that positive plus 10. Now second component is 5 ohm resistor. So I am moving in this direction. Current I1 is also flowing in the same direction. So voltage across 5 ohm resistor should be taken as negative. And voltage across 5 ohm resistor is V is equal to I into R. That is R is 5 ohm, current is I1. So 5 into I1 and it is negative. So minus 5 into I1. Now next component of loop 1 is resistor 2 ohm. So I am moving in this direction. I1 is also flowing in the same direction. So voltage drop across this 2 ohm resistor due to I1 will be negative, and that will be minus 2 into I1. So minus 2 into I1. And 2 ohm resistor is common to loop 1 and loop 2. So current I2 is also flowing through this 2 ohm resistor. And we are moving in this direction. I2 is flowing in the opposite direction. So drop on 2 ohm resistor, drop across 2 ohm resistor due to I2 will be positive. നമ്മൾ വരുന്ന ഡയറക്ഷനും current flow ചെയ്യുന്ന ഡയറക്ഷനും opposite ആണ്. So drop on 2 ohm resistor due to I2 is positive. So there is a rise in potential. So plus 2 into I2 is equal to 0. According to KVL, algebraic sum of voltages equal to 0. So now let us rearrange the equation. So how will you rearrange? The constant voltage term should be on the right hand side and all the voltage drop terms on the left hand side. Okay, it will be, so when 10 is taken on the right hand side, we will get minus 5I1. Sorry, when 10 is on the one side, it's become plus 5I1 plus 2I1 minus 2I2 is equal to 10. So 5I1 and 2I1, 7I1 minus 2I2 is equal to 10. Okay. So left hand side should be arranged in such a way that term containing I1 should come first and thereafter term containing I2. So it should be arranged in that particular order. So if we are arranging in this way, it will be easier. So we got equation number 1. Now consider loop 2 and apply Kirchhoff's voltage law. So let us consider loop 2, applying KVL to loop 2. Okay, let us apply KVL. So we have already marked the current. Now trace the circuit in a particular direction. So I am going to trace the circuit in clockwise direction. So start from this particular point. So I will be moving like this. So I am moving like this. Current I2 is also flowing in the same direction. I2 flows like this and like this. I am moving like this. So current flow and the direction of tracing the circuit are the same. So voltage across resistor should be marked as negative. So minus 2 into I2. Minus 2 into I2. Now this 2 ohm resistor is common to loop 1 and loop 2. So current I1 is also flowing through 2 ohm resistor. So we have to consider the voltage drop across the 2 ohm resistor due to this current I1 also. And we are tracing loop 2 in this direction. Current I1 is flowing in the opposite direction. So voltage drop due to I1 should be positive. So plus 2 into I1. So we are coming in this direction. So next element is 10 ohm resistor. So we are going in this direction. Current I2 is also in the same direction. So voltage drop in 10 ohm due to I2 will be negative. Direction of tracing and direction of current flow are the same. So there is a drop in potential, and that is minus 10 into I2. Now next component is 50 volt battery. So we are going like this, that is from positive terminal to negative terminal of the battery, higher potential to lower potential. We are tracing like this. So there is a drop in potential, so battery voltage will be negative. So we have considered all the voltages across loop 2, and algebraic sum of these voltages will be equal to 0 according to Kirchhoff's voltage law. So now let us rearrange the constant term on the right hand side and all the terms containing unknown currents on the left hand side. So it will be minus 2I2 plus 2I1 minus 10I2 is equal to 50. So now left hand side should be rearranged in such a way that term containing I1 should come first, thereafter term containing I2. So 2I1 and minus 2I2 minus 10I2 is minus 12I2, which is equal to 50. So this is equation number 2. So now we have two equations, and let us solve these equations using Cramer's rule or matrix method. So we have two equations and two unknowns. So we can solve the equation using Cramer's rule. So for Cramer's rule, arrange the two equations in a matrix form. And that is, general form is matrix R into matrix I is equal to matrix V. So here there are two equations. So order of R will be 2 by 2, I is 2 by 1 and V is also 2 by 1. So this is the resistance matrix which contain the coefficients of the unknown currents. The coefficients of unknown currents in equations 1 and 2. I is the current matrix, that is unknown currents I1 and I2. And V is the voltage matrix which contain the constant voltages on the right hand side of the equation. So let us write the resistance matrix. It will be a 2 by 2 matrix, and first row should be written from the first equation. So first equation, coefficient of I1 is the first term. First row, first term is coefficient of I1. First row, second term is coefficient of I2, that is minus 2. Now second row should be written from second equation. Second row, first element is coefficient of I1. Second row, second element is coefficient of I2. So this is the resistance matrix. Now current matrix is the two unknown currents I1 and I2, which is equal to the voltage matrix. The constant voltages on the right hand side of the equation, that is 10 and 50. 10, 50. Okay. So we got the matrix representation. Now according to Cramer's rule, I1 can be calculated as delta 1 divided by delta, where delta 1 is a matrix delta 1 is the determinant of a matrix which is obtained by replacing first column of this matrix by the voltage matrix. So we will get the matrix as replacing first column by voltage matrix, that is 10, 50, and second column is as such, that is -2, -2. So determinant of this matrix is known as delta 1 divided by delta is the determinant of the original resistance matrix, that is determinant of 7, 2, -2, -12. Okay, so on calculating the determinant of this matrix, we will get it as -20, and determinant of the original resistance matrix is -80, and the answer will be 0.25 ampere. On calculating this, we will get the current I1 as 0.25 ampere. So delta 1 divided by delta. Okay. Delta 1 is obtained as the determinant of a matrix, and that matrix is obtained by replacing first column of the resistance matrix by the voltage matrix. Okay, so this is I1. So I1 is positive, current I1 is positive. So we have marked I1 in clockwise direction. In that particular circuit, we have marked loop current I1 in clockwise direction, and we have assumed that particular direction. We don't know the actual direction of I1. So we have marked it as clockwise and started solving the problem. And finally, we got the answer, the value of I1 as a positive value. That means the direction that we have assumed for I1 is correct. I1 is flowing in the clockwise direction. Okay, now let us calculate the current I2. Okay, according to Cramer's rule, the current I2 will be delta 2 divided by delta. Delta 2 is the determinant of a matrix which is obtained by replacing the second column of the resistance matrix by the voltage matrix. That is determinant of 7, 2, and second column is replaced as the voltage matrix 10, 50 divided by delta is the determinant of the original resistance matrix 7, 2, -2, -12. Okay, so we got this determinant as 350 minus 20, that is 330 divided by this is -80, and the answer will be -4.125 ampere. Okay, so we have marked the direction of I2 as clockwise direction. Direction of I2 was also taken as clockwise. But when we have calculated the value of I2, the answer is negative. That means the direction that we have assumed for I2 is wrong. So there is no problem in assuming the direction like that. But finally, after solving this problem, we have to state that the value of I2 is negative means the direction that we have assumed for I2 is wrong. And I2 actually flows in the opposite direction. I2 actually flows in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay. This is how we can solve this particular problem.